And you were just leading the panel discussion right now on helping to boost SMEs here in Uzbekistan. Can you give some insights into what was discussed on the panel, please?
Well, we discussed the issue of having really good data to understand where the support should be going, diagnosing the problems so that if there are financial support mechanisms, for example, they really address the root causes of the problem. They try to maximize the effect on the private sector and on private sector mobilization, because the challenge, for example, for SME financing is just too huge to be addressed by government alone.
So what infrastructure is in place right now to support them, if any?
Infrastructure in terms of digitalization, for example, we see from the data that is progressing, that SMEs use much more e-commerce and digital platforms to sell the products. But on other dimensions of financial capabilities or digital capabilities, we should do something more and close these gaps that we observing to make, for example, through digitalization, SMEs more connected to markets, more transparent in terms of their financials, but also more resilient. If something happens, digitalization helps with agility of the firm to re-navigate their, for example, imports or exports. That's what we learned from the data.
And the panel also touched on the difficulties that female entrepreneurs face here in terms of getting loans from banks without collateral because they don't own land. How can we get banks to make it easier for them, because they are quite a marginalized group, and the fact that they are better at paying off would make them the more favorable customer, correct?
Right, so this is a problem around the world, that sometimes female-headed businesses could be disadvantaged because of perception bias. So we have tools to work with banks and the markets to understand their biases, that they are prohibiting them with developing good business with female-owned borrowers. And we have different tools also to address other biases in terms of, for example, lending to undocumented earners of income, be it remittance receivers, taxi drivers, or others that have troubles with documenting income. There are tools such as behavioral scoring or psychometric scoring that take account different behavioral aspects and psychological tendencies that can be used in credit risk assessment and improve situation for those parts of the economy that cannot document their income, and address the biases that may arise from perception in dealing with, for example, female-headed businesses.
And do you see Uzbekistan moving in a more positive trend within this sector, within SMEs and even female-owned businesses and led businesses?
I think there was much effort exercised by the government to improve the situation. And a lot of things has improved. The governance is improving of this financial mechanism, but there is obviously a lot of room for improvement, and there is a lot of good things that could be happening to unleash the potential that SMEs have to contribute to job creation and to GDP growth. And we think that SMEs are well equipped to also address the need for exports. We talked about, for example, about textile industry and the concrete examples how trade finance is constraining them for really grasping the opportunities that arise relatively quickly, but then cannot be seized by SMEs because trade finance is either expensive or it takes too long and the opportunity is gone.